And then obviously part of this is the music, is writing those songs, and then kind of seeing them manifest itself on stage.
Yeah.
So about that writing process, because I believe you're working on the debut album now.
We are, yeah.
What is it? What is the mindset of the band now, writing new material with that vision of this is going to be the debut?
It's quite an interesting place that we're at, because the first EP that we released in 2016, those songs were written without kind of any expectation. Just five friends, or four friends back then, making music, and that was received well. The next set of songs that we wrote, we knew that we were touring with Neck Deep with those songs, and we kind of wrote those. Okay, we need to play these huge rooms. How are we going to fill them? With no experience of playing in a room that size or rooms that size, how are we going to do it? And that's the EP. It's called Self Help. It's coming out soon on Unified Records. It's coming out soon. So these songs, the album that we're writing now, we've done huge UK tours, playing in the biggest venues you can get in the UK. We've toured Europe. We've played to a lot more bigger audiences since we wrote, basically every other song that you'll have heard from us. So for me personally, it's a really interesting of actually having that experience of having a huge crowd at your disposal, and what do they want, what do they need, and that's what I'm thinking about as we're writing songs. Or if we get stuck at a certain part in a song, I'm thinking like, well, how is this live? How is this play a huge audience? And how do we keep the energy up? Because we both know from songs we've written in the past, they're too long. There's two bits where the energy dipped too much and things like that. And I think having that experience of just playing these huge shows is going to fundamentally change the way that the album's written. Yeah, I agree. And going back to what I was saying earlier about, like, when you get on stage, you're performing the show, what songs are going to be best for the show, or how are you going to craft your songs best for the show? But also as well, like, I'm a studio guy. Like, I love playing, but I love being in the studio. I love writing songs. I love recording songs. So it's just like, okay, well, how can I still create the best song ever, but still have it translate incredibly well live? So I guess there's always two things I'm thinking of. How can I make this song like the best, most original, catchy song it possibly can, while still, having that live component to it? And, is this going to go off live? Are people going to have their lighters out? Is there going to be a beach ball? That's what I'm thinking too. And I think all this touring experience has really, really helped us, get to where we are.
Is there one example you can give me without revealing too much, because I'm sure you can't say too much, but when you've had one of those moments maybe in the studio where you thought, okay, this is gonna work.
There's a song, right? It's actually called HLB2, but its unofficial name is called Hotline Bling 2 after the Drake song, but our lawyer literally made us change the name of the song. And we're kind of thinking, we're just like, we had these parts and we got some feedback on it, and we're just like, yeah, it's cool, it's kind of, it is cool, but how can we make it pop off? And we're just like, dude, we need to think about it. We're at Brixton, we're playing it in front of 5,000 people, what's it going to be like? How's the song going to go off? And so we were literally thinking to ourselves when we were writing that song, we're just like, yeah, how's the chorus going to go down? How's the dynamics going to be? How's the big ending? And obviously, like, the song's not out yet, so nobody's ever heard it, but hopefully when it does come out, you can be like, oh yeah, those guys wrote it for Brixton Academy. Funnily enough, we didn't actually play it at Brixton, but, we were thinking how would it go down in front of these large audiences or whatever? So, yeah, Big at Brixton was like our kind of MO for that song.
Very, very quick segue then. What for you has been the most impressive live show you've seen?
I think we both have the same answer.
Is this for us, like a band we've seen?
But because what you mentioned, did you just go to a show and one of your favorite bands was playing?
Oh, all right. So the favorite show that we've actually watched,
live show.
Oh yeah, most recently Bon Iver.
Okay. Yep.
Yeah, like that. We saw them at the Usher Hall in Edinburgh, and like it's just, I think there was like 3 people in the band that time. I think we've seen them before, and there was more people there.
11 people in the band.
Yeah, there were 11 people in the band, but this time it was just 3 people in the touring party. Oh my God, I couldn't believe the sound that was coming out. 3 people. So yeah, it's funny because they're just like, oh, a pop punk band, and they just said that Bon Iver was the best show they've ever seen live. I was just like, well, yeah,
And that's these are the elements that we want to start bringing into the album, into our live show, because you've got, like with Bon Iver, you've got the quiet, somber parts, and you've got this huge dynamic wall of sound that comes out as well, and it really blows you away. It literally takes your breath away. And if we can just even get a little bit of that into our live show, I think we're doing really well.
The whole thing as well is there's only 3 guys on stage and they're making such a huge noise, and each guy is probably playing 2 instruments at once at any one time.
Yeah, well, they're way more talented than us. That's important to realize.
They're more famous than us. But yeah, we want to be a band like that kind of experiments and does whatever they like sonically, basically.
And in terms of the songwriting lyrically, then conveying emotion and kind of transferring that to the audience, what role does that play in this?
Yeah, I mean, it's fairly important that Sean and I write the lyrics together. Usually, you start writing a song and you have an idea in mind what you want that song to be about, and as the song grows or whatever, you either stick with that idea or you change. And you're looking for lyrics that people can identify with, so people can understand the things that you're feeling and the things that you're singing about, which is what will attach them to the song.
Yep.
And then you're looking, at the same time as trying to do that, you're looking for things that people can throw their hands in the air when you're playing them live, and just have a good time. So
I think when I write songs, or when we write songs together, I want to take people on a journey. You got your beginning, you got your middle, you got your end, and when I'm writing lyrics, I want to tell that story. I want to take people on a journey, and I want to make them hopefully feel something that I was feeling as well, because, what is a song, or why do people connect with songs? I guess there's probably a million answers to that question, but, it's definitely a part that's through the lyrics, so you've really got to take people on this journey, and people definitely do connect with it live, and let me tell you, there's nothing more rewarding when people are at the front, pointing along, singing along, I love that.
Yeah.
A song like Real World, then where does that start in terms of its kind of lyrical content?
Real World is an interesting one, actually, because it's in 2 parts. So the first part is very much just how we felt when we were writing the EP that's coming out shortly, because we were under huge time pressure. There was a load of stress writing that one, and we just had people around us weighing us down with problems that we perceive to be not worth our time. When we've got so much pressure on us to write and deliver this EP, and people are slowing us down with just stuff that quote unquote doesn't matter. And then the second half of the song is more introspective, and it's looking at yourself and thinking what have I done to cause this situation, or how have I been small-minded or narrow-minded to cause this situation. So I always like to, I don't like to write songs that are just super negative. Like if I write a song that's about something negative, I would always like to turn it on myself and be like, okay, how have I been an asshole here as well?
Which I think that kind of introspective self-realization, kind of self-critical is a theme that runs through the band.
Yeah.
We always try to be better. We never settle for, just not doing the best that we can, So this song in particular, we're kind of writing and we're just negative, and got to the bridge, and I was just like, but problems to people's problems are always the biggest problems that they'll ever face. You know what I mean? Like everybody's problem to them is their biggest problem, and it's very selfish to actually think to yourself, your problems aren't important. Your problems aren't as big as mine, because everybody faces different challenges along the way, and that in the bridge is that kind of introspective, just like, damn, I really should actually be a bit more wary, a bit more open to other people's problems, and certainly not demean them as much as I perhaps have done in the past.
You mentioned that self-criticism. Does that mean then that there's a lot of self-imposed pressure for the debut album?
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
Definitely. Yeah, totally.
Yeah. But I mean, we're used to pressure. We like pressure. Pressure's not a problem. It's just we've got high standards, and I think we beat ourselves up a lot because something has, you've had a great idea for a song, it's rattled about in your head for a month, a year, whatever.
Yep.
You try to put it onto paper, into music, and it just doesn't turn out the way you expect, or worse, it does turn out the way you expect, but nobody else likes it.
Yeah.
And
or even worse than that, it turns out the way you expected it, and you don't like it, which does happen as well.
Yeah. So we are guilty of beating ourselves up quite a lot, but I've said it a few times, we've got high standards, you know, it's just part of that kind of mentality is a little bit of, you know, feeling down about something that you've created, even though, you know, by any measure it's a good thing.
Yeah. And you know, we are who we are. You know, we probably are going to feel negative from time to time. We probably are going to put on a lot of pressure, but it's gotten us this far. And, you know, we'll just keep being ourselves, and hopefully with the amount of, you know, because I don't just want to write an album, I want to write the greatest debut that the world has ever seen.
Yeah, totally.
You know, and, you know, realistically we won't get there, but if we try for that, then hey, well, maybe we'll meet in the middle and it will be a great debut. So, yeah, there's pressure, there's self-imposed pressure, not pressure from the label. You know, the label are being great about it. They're just like, guys, go away and do your thing, but probably because they know that, you know, we're really focused on doing the best thing that we can possibly do.
To round off, then, final question, because you mentioned it can be quite a struggle. Touring can be a struggle. Being in the studio can be a struggle mentally.
Yeah.
But does kind of the payoff, does that help with things like self-criticism? Like once a song is finished, or once you show it done? Yeah,
I think it does. I think that's the thing. It's easy to get bogged down. Playing in a band or any kind of creative process is all many little moments of pain followed by one huge reward. And I can think of a couple of occasions, even on this tour, where we are trying to either write or organise a tour that's coming up, where we've all been dead stressed, felt quite negative before we went into the show. We play the show, people get into it, we have a great time, and everything's back to normal. We're all best mates again.
For sure.
Can you give me one example of maybe a night or something like that?
What was the venue where sound check was... Well, I don't know. Maybe you've got a different example than I do.
Yeah, I think everybody in the band would probably have a different day. What was that venue?
It was Munich, yeah. So just before Munich, everything was running super late, and we were getting tweets. We were just like, why are people not in the venue yet? And we're just like, God damn, all right, okay. You know, but it's just like things had run. It happens sometimes, right? We're just so stressed. We're just like, you know, we had like no time for sound check. We had like 10 minutes or whatever. Usually get a full hour. You know, we've got a relatively complicated rig as well. So we're just like, damn, you know, what the hell? And we're going on stage. We're super pissed off, and we're just like, oh, here we go, fucking Munich, let's do this. And then, dude, that show went off. It was an incredible show. The crowd, you know, I don't know. It was like a mixture of energies. Their energy was great. Yeah. We had a lot of energy. You know, perhaps it was like negatively fueled or whatever, but it became much more positive as the show went on, and it ended up being one of our most well-received shows on the night, on the whole tour. Sorry. And see, afterwards, God, every single bad vibe was gone. Every single one.
That show.
Yeah, totally.
Very relaxed.
Yeah, totally. So.
I have one last question, and I have to try. Do you have an album title yet?
No.
Fuck no.
No.
Ask us about 2 weeks before it gets released.
Yeah.
Fair enough.
Yeah.
All right, gentlemen. Thank you very much.
Thank you very much, man. Cheers for that.
Peace out.
Thank you.
Yeah, no worries. Our pleasure, dude.
Yeah.